Mongoose Jake here after a long break from doing videos on the channel to showcase one of my games leading up to 3 marking the Bassotto. As you can see, I only have 2 of the little Italian tank symbols on there, and this is a pretty straightforward single tier, all tier 6 match on mines. And this is the kind of game the Bassotto really has to have in order to excel. I mean, it can play actually quite well down-tiered, but it needs a long, drawn-out game, and that's what this is going to end up being. Very typical setup with fast movers trying to run to the hill, and I way overled the T-3485, but we have a couple of P-43 Bis and the T-150 who are going to try to check there. But as Exhibit A of how not to play the Bassotto, I present to you the enemy one. He pushed forward there, and this doesn't have the armor to do anything like that. And unfortunately, that shot sailed so low that it hit the drivetrain of the Sherman, but didn't actually hit anything of substance. That's all the Lozes is. It's an M4A2 with the 76. For all intents and purposes, it's easy 8 as far as the gameplay. Now, the Bassotto's gun hits hard and has fairly good penetration, but the one thing it fails a bit at is consistency. And you'll see that sometimes, like there, I mean, that wasn't a fully aimed shot, but you'll see it fall short, sail high, deviate to one side or the other, or sometimes go exactly where you want it to go. And that's just how you have to live with it. And it, like there, that was an aim shot. And I have a teammate, the M6, just driving past, burning in an inferno. But again, there's a limited aim shot. It went right where I needed it to. But the gun doesn't have consistency as one of his strong points. That was my point. But if you have a long enough game, despite the misses, you'll rack up damage, because this thing has an average damage of 360. And at tier 6, that's very high. Only the SU-100 and SU-100Y really have reliably higher damage, and they both do have the penetration to back it up, but they also have the consistency issue. The Bassotto's advantage is, of course, it's a much smaller target than an SU-100Y. And there again, I can't complain about it when you track somebody for no damage, when you can see clearly that the shot went too low and just hit the road wheels. That's below the hull. But there, that could have been a bad situation if that Panzer IV-S had been able to get up on the hill. And that was the third shot being needed, was due to the fact that the second shot I fired that was fully aimed, dead center of the hull, it deviated high enough that it hit his gun mantlet. And that shouldn't have been the case. I shouldn't have needed the third shot whatsoever. Now, the flow of the game hasn't caused that to be an issue. What is an issue is the Burza to my left being pushed by the AMD and the Cheeto. That is an issue. And we still have a T-3485 up on the hill. And with nobody checking the hill, now anybody who wants to go up there could. Now this is unfortunate here. I can't really push and help the Burza. He actually has some decent superstructure armor. I don't. The Bassotto, despite once in a while you'll get a random bounce, it only has 80 millimeters of armor and it's flat. And of course that isn't going to stand up to anything at tier 6. You know, let alone you'll face up to tier 8. So it ends up being kind of a glass cannon. Not as bad as one of my favorites with the Nashorn, but it does end up being a glass cannon. And unfortunately, not being able to help the Burza directly, I have to resort to waiting. I'm sliding on the soap rocks. But I have to wait for them to push around, because I've got to check the T-3485, and now the T-3485M is also up there. But I know the Cheeto's here. The AMD is giving me an opportunity, and I keep considering it because the AMD has separated from the Cheeto. And I have the opportunity to possibly go get him. And it's a temptation I'm weighing right now as you see me sitting here staring at the bushes ahead of me. Because he's either going to poke and I can take him out, or he's just going to sit there. But the AMD keeps getting spotted with a gap between him and the Cheeto. As you see, I'm paying attention to him on the map while keeping my gun aimed and ready, where the Cheeto would pop up. Because the issue is, if the AMD decides to try to circle me, if I went after the Cheeto and don't kill him in one hit, him and the AMD absolutely can take me out. And I believe at this stage, if I go down, this is going to allow them to flank the Jackson and the KV-2. And that can't happen. That would be a loss. So right now, I'm just taking the safe measure of just sit. Sit and wait. Let maybe the Cheeto make the mistake. As you see, I keep panning around. Now the Cheeto has made a mistake. I'm debating it and then I go for it. Because now I can get away, maybe get this AMD. And the auto aim actually works in that case. Which now I'm just going to back off, stay safe, and reload. And now the Jackson pops up, but I was getting ready to push in and kill the Cheeto. But this is where the alpha damage of the Bassotto works in your favor big time, because I'm able to make the Jackson go from being confident to now he has backed off big time because he's single shot. And I'm just waiting for the Cheeto to slip up and back up too far. And there. Now that has changed things a little bit. Because now the Jackson, he's over here by himself. Now I can't actually cover the open ground and go kill him. Because if the T-34s on the hill, if they react, they could very well have shots on me. And we're going to lose our own T-34 that's up there in the northeast. Which is unfortunate, but it is going to happen. So I actually go back to my original position, which means if the Jackson pushes me, I'll have the opportunity to shoot him first. Because he'll have to come up and around the corner. Which is exactly what happens. So now, I'm okay here. I'm actually quite content to just stay put. Because it looks like they're going to push around and try to push our KV-2. Now, if that occurs, the Jackson and I can actually keep him covered a little bit. And that was actually a very key thing. I did exchange a hit with the T-3485, which means he was pre-aimed for me specifically. Because remember, I wasn't spotted before taking the shot. So that T-3485 is, as you see there, that was another blind shot. He is trying to focus me out of everyone. And again, I can't risk this. I can't risk this again. But again, he was pre-aimed, focused on me specifically. So now I have to basically play ultra safe, and I almost considered dropping back down. But if I drop down to that lower position, down at K3 or K4, I won't be able to support my teammates, and that's what I need to be doing. I gotta stay safe for now. Because I think the T-3485 is just going to sit up there and try to snipe. And we got a KV-2 at pretty much full health, and so is the Jackson. We're not actually that bad off. And that KB2 slapped their Tiger. Now, unfortunately, I hit the gun mantlet, and as I'm backing up, trying to get into concealment, the KB2 sneaks the shot in. And we'll watch that here on the little replay cam they've got. And you'll see that he doesn't actually hit me, he hits my gun. And the splash damage was enough to finish me off. He actually hit the gun tube, and the splash gets it. But while that was happening, while we were watching the replay, the Jackson took out the T-34-85. Now, I think this is a win. Right then, because of that. Because now, the Tiger 131 and SU 100, they're both one-shottable. You can see the health differential up on the top of the screen. If the Jackson makes a move, neither one of the Jackson or KB2 are one-shottable by the Tiger, but the SU 100 could get the Jackson. But if they play this smart, and here goes the KB2, he's doing the right thing. One's going to go in behind. The KB2 is going to get a back shot on somebody, because Jackson's moving up. This is a little bit reversed, but it's fine, because you see, they did the right things. Jackson gets the SU 100, KB2 finishes off the Tiger 131. Good play by both of them at the end there, after I got taken out. And that was an ace, with a top gun and high caliber, this was a key game in me getting my third mark. This wasn't the third mark game itself, but it was one of the best games along the way in overall. And it showcases kind of what you have to do with the Bassotto. You kind of have to just let the game come to you. But it was a fun tank, and I hope you enjoyed the game overall. And thanks for watching.